Hello, 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 and welcome to Shared Space with Quita and Chap. I know I told y'all we're going to be doing some reruns up until September, revisiting some conversations. However, uh, the guest today, I met a really dope guy who's doing exploring esports and introducing our youth to opportunities with esports through Eworld festivals. He does gaming tournaments for games that are popular with our youth and our adults. And just waiting for him to come on the show. While we're waiting for him, some community announcements. Definitely like to show you guys. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm sure you guys theagogiproject.org. Let's see here. Put there. They're also the Agogi Project Be More on IG. They've got a free to the community outdoor boxing event at Father Hooper's Field. If you're not from Northeast or East Side, it's Google Father Hooper Field. It's going to give you a GP coordinate, but it's Harford Road and Chesterfield at the intersection where we just opened up a new bridge for Herring Run. There's some soccer fields normally being used for soccer. We're going to have a free outdoor boxing event with 15 to 18 bouts slated. USA Boxing sanctioned amateur fights for youth in Baltimore. We got for sure. I know there's corner team is involved. Lewis Foundation, kind of almost sponsoring the event and helping go get things rolling. Definitely a big sponsor. So their kids are going to be. We got Upton. I believe Brother Umar has people coming out. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But we definitely got kids from all across Baltimore, all neighborhoods, not just the Yogi Project neighborhood of Bel Air Edison. But all across the city, we got young men who are going to be coming out and exhibiting their skill sets and testing themselves against each other in the ring, fighting in proper context where we can celebrate them and not criminalize them for their time. So we're super excited about that. See here real quick. One last push we're going to do for, let's see, for the Agogi Project.
So what if
I'm going to run this little message real quick. I'm going to make sure you guys can hear it okay. So give me 1 second. And we will sharing the screen. All right, so it looks like we're good to go, guys. I'm gonna hit play on this. We're gonna watch a video real quick. And if there's anybody who wants to sponsor, wants to volunteer, or just come out and celebrate the kids, I hope that this video moves you to do so. So check this out real quick, and then we'll get on with the conversation.
so as a firefighter, I think it's important for other firefighters to also support the Agoge Project because the work that they do here directly affects us. And I know that a lot of firefighters and a lot of paramedics care deeply about this city. And it's been times where I know you've been on a call where you wish you could do more for this person. You wish you could extend more help, more care, more love, but the system has failed so many people in our city. And it's up to us to support this project in order to see more projects and more programs like this continue to grow throughout the city. And this directly affects the work that we do. That's less traumatic calls you're going to have to run. That's less violent crimes you're going to have to see. So it's so important for the fire department to get involved because this directly impacts the work that we do. And if we truly want to hurl ourselves as a department that protects people, then it's important for us to protect them before they have to call us for an emergency, before they meet a crisis that puts their life in danger. This is our way of hedging against that. This is our way of actually fighting back. This is an amazing program. And if you come down here and you see the kids, you see how they've been developed, and you see all of the support, love, and care that's being provided to these kids, it's insane that they have not received the funding that they need from the city. And it's time for us to stop relying on the city and start doing things for ourselves. And it's time for you to step up and help this project grow to what it possibly can be. With this facility, they can harbor about 50 to 60 kids. But think about that. If we get 10 more, it could be 500 kids. We can impact a tremendous amount of lives if we just have the support of the people of the city who love the city and want to see this city prosper. For more information about the programs at Agogay Project, check out the website at theagogayproject.org.
All right, guys. So that was ad we put together for our event this weekend. A couple of truths there we can talk about. We always talk about on the show. We don't need to rely on the city. We don't need to rely on these agencies to necessarily come through and save us, man. We all, you know what they say. We all we got, we all we need. So if you guys are interested in more information, the agogiproject.org, their IG is right here. Check in, and if nothing else, just show up. Sometimes we just need you to show up and support. The kids are so empowered and encouraged just to be seen. So yeah, please come to that. Don't forget also, guys, on my IG at Be More Chap 78. We'll put it up there in a little bit. We're gonna have some events coming up. This last weekend we had the free women's event. This week we have a nature walk over west with Laquita Chansey and Smaltimore Homes. We have the weekly community walk at Lake Montebello Sunday mornings at 9:30, 10ish. All the community's welcome to come out to that. But without further ado, man, I got a guy. So let me tell you guys real quick. Y'all know I roll with Ms. Val Jenkins of Hug Don't Shoot. We do acting together. We unload Amazon trucks of donations together. Whatever she's doing, if she calls and we're available, we're serving Hug Don't Shoot. And vice versa. Whenever there's a need, I know I can reach out to her, and we kind of share our tribes, collaborate to serve different needs in Baltimore. And earlier this week, I was watching kind of a recap of a video she did with a gentleman who's been engaging the community and our youth through gaming, which is super huge. We try to do a little bit of everything. We can't do everything. We can't be all people. And so to add someone to the tribe like this who is hard focused on gaming, I know Mr. Jerome Pinder with the Geeks Haven. He does gaming with the kids. We love it. Michael Randolph from Sandtown, OG. He's in Tampa right now. So good evening, Mr. Randolph. Thanks for tuning in. So without further ado, I'll let this guy introduce himself and tell you what he does. But thanks, Val Jenkins, for bringing him to our attention. So Mr. Michael Niles, welcome to the show, man. Introduce yourself, brother.
Thank you for having me. Mike Niles. I'm from Baltimore, and been in entertainment and business consulting for a while, and I've done a lot of community activations here. I used to do a soapbox derby race, 2007, after school programming. I've always been in the community, at least trying to do my part with my network. And since the pandemic, I was trying to find a way to get back into doing some things, and gaming was a big thing that my son was involved in, and kind of did some research and got me to doing this interview with you. So.
Man, that's awesome. And I don't want to skip over the soapbox derbies, man. I was in Hamilton Tire the other day, trying to recruit some last ditch sponsorship for our boxing event Saturday. And met a guy, Mike, there who those guys had trophies in their garage from building soapboxes with the community and doing these community like downhill like derbies, man. It was super cool. And they were as recent, but they were old. They were like within the 2000s, but nothing really ran in the last probably 10 or 15 years. So I think that's something to also consider revisiting, guys. It's old school, but it's like it brings people together. It puts tools in kids' hands, bro. It's a really unforgettable experience as a youth, for sure.
It's really, really fun. So actually, I was talking to a gentleman earlier today. So I actually have my after-school program. It's called the Jackie Robinson Baseball League.
Okay.
Not to get too far away from the gaming, but I've been in baseball since I was a kid, played high school, college level. So, I wanted to bring that back to the city. I've been coaching high school baseball for like the last 5 years in Baltimore City, last stop St. Francis Academy. But I brought baseball to the elementary schools. And then I was like, you know what? I want to bring back the soapbox derby, and I want to use it as a STEM initiative within the baseball league. So offer a sport that's not popular here, and then also bring unpopular, non-traditional enrichment like soapbox derby racing or video gaming. And when I say non-popular, I'm talking about as far as the adults considering kids to see it as an educational piece, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I like the word enriching, right? Like like some of the things we do with the kids through like Dent Education or through the Agogi project, and like you're doing with that with the STEM, offering that as a STEM project. Like Agogi teaches, we have a garden over Lake Clifton, so the kids are taking home fruits and vegetables every week that they tended to and grew, and they're putting something on the table. 8, 10, 12 years old, they're putting something on mom and dad's table to help feed the family, and
Mhm.
it's a popular skill set that a lot of us adults in my age, my generation, didn't really have access to. But
Mhm.
somebody did, thank goodness, and they're passing that knowledge on to our kids through the programs like you said, baseball, like we use boxing. Um, football and basketball is real popular in Baltimore, and so like you got the blueprint, right? You got the memo, like introduce a sport, introduce some life enriching programs like sewing or the STEM stuff, building, right? Mechanics and carpentry and all that. I just want to skip over that, man. That's a really great point. Really good work that you're doing and knowledge that you're sharing.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like I said, and this whole interviewing thing is just new to me. I've always been like a background guy, but I learned doing these interviews, the backstory sometimes is more important than the reason why you're actually talking at that time. You know,
Absolutely,
uh,
absolutely. I'm also I'm with you. Like everybody watches the show understands me that I'm also the background guy, especially being like an ally in a community and culture like Baltimore.
mhm,
I don't need people to see me. I need people to see you. I need people to
mhm.
see the city. And through this platform, actually, I was kind of like, Donnie strong armed me into doing this show,
Good
but
job.
yeah, honestly, yeah, no, and so it's like, and when I try to pass it off to people like you or Val or my community chiefs, I'm like, yo, we got this opportunity. They're
Mhm.
like, nah, you got the call, so you got to answer it. And I'm like you, I'm like not that guy, but they reminded me of if I'm responsible, my responsibility to the community was to take the mic. Then in
Mhm.
this season, I had to take the mic. And so
Right.
what I do is thank you, Donnie Glover, for the opportunity to be on BlackUSA.news. We're the longest, besides the Donnie Glover Morning Show, we're the longest running show. And he allows us for free to give the mic to people in the community, entrepreneurs, community activists, and stuff like that. So, Donnie, thank you. And as you mentioned, your baseball leagues. Hopefully, Donnie's watching, man. If you want to hop on and get some of this conversation, Donnie's an old school Sandtown baseball player. He's got some great stories and great connects, man. So, hopefully, of course, he's watching. He's the boss. But if you got time, Donnie, hop on. You ain't got to put on a tie, baby. Just hop on with us and get some of this conversation. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So tonight we didn't necessarily have to focus. We got an hour, man. You got a mic till 8 o'clock. We didn't have to focus solely on the esports gaming, but I think it's unique that somebody's not really driving too fiercely yet in Baltimore. I know we got a couple gaming lounges popped up, but just speak to your event, man, because I know registration's closing today if it hasn't
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that first.
Yeah. So we did put a deadline of July 15th to start registration. It's been open since June 15th. But for whatever reason, we've been getting a lot of people pinging into like the last 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And information, and emails, and text messages, and phone calls been coming through asking, can we extend it? So I think we're going to extend it out for a couple more days. And because we just bet so much on trying to grow this thing organically, and it's starting to sprout a little bit. The leaves are starting to sprout a little bit. So we're going to kind of let it do what it's going to do on its own. So we're going to open it up a little bit more for registration. So
It makes your side a little more difficult bringing stuff in last minute, but really that's when once people start finding out, they want to sign up, and so like I appreciate the opportunity to give them some grace period to just get signed up and get plugged in.
yeah, and it's free. So it's free for kids, 12 and up. We also have it open for adults as well. All of it's free for everybody that wants to sign up. It's an open format, double elimination. We got 4 games to pick from. You got Call of Duty, you got Fortnite, you got Madden, and you have NBA 2K. And it's all on a PlayStation 5.
Okay. Okay. I love it, man. Off the record, I can't do it on the recording, but I'll tell you why Baltimore's a PlayStation city.
Okay.
Remind me to tell you that story off the record, bro.
All right.
Oh yeah, no, it's trust me, we definitely built the culture here in Baltimore. So,
Mhm.
so you got the esports. What day is the actual event, and what's
The
the location?
Well, yeah. So the actual festival is August 5th at Ram's Head, and just kind of put some light on the actual festival. So we are highlighting and putting the gaming in the forefront of this thing, but it's a music festival. So it's music festival and gaming all on one stage. It's never happened ever in the world. And so we want to make sure that we are kind of paying homage to both industries and creating a perfect mix and fuse on one stage for people to enjoy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that look like? So how do you introduce it's a music festival as well with intent, right? So what does that look like for, like, if I show up, are there bands playing? Are there DJs? Like, what is my experience going to look like?
Yeah, so we're a DJ format festival, and so basically, what it's
Shout
going to
out
look.
to DJs, baby. Shout them out.
There you go. We got a good group of DJs. We got DJ Remix coming from New York. He's an EDM house DJ. We have DJ Duke, who's from Baltimore, is doing a lot of huge international.
Is that Duke Live?
Yes, that's my
So
guy.
he's my DJ for Saturday. So there's another like
There you
Baltimore moment. Yeah, he's everywhere
go.
doing everything. Love DJ Duke, man.
He's everywhere. He's doing a lot of good things in the community. We have
That's
DJ Flow. He used to be on 92Q. He's actually a large hip hop DJ, large hip hop artist DJ. Who's the artist? Meek Mills is the artist that he is DJing for now. He's on the road with him. And then we have I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He's gonna be mad at me. DJ Blackstar, who's a huge artist from the area. Was signed to Diplo, was a large EDM DJ at one. Well, actually, right now he's a huge EDM DJ. He was signed under him. Who else do we have, man? We got like 10 DJs. Like it's a lot of guys. So, but when you walk in, I mean, I was explaining to Ryan the Line. I did the interview at 95.9.
Nice. So that's my MC. That's my MC Saturday. You naming all the right brothers, man.
But there you go, right there.
You plugged in, baby.
Yeah. So, but I told him, I was like, imagine going into a venue that's Comic-Con, Coachella, and GameStop, like all rolled into one. You know what I mean? Like if you could put all three of those things together in a blender, this is what we're looking to, provide, for production for our people here in Baltimore. I mean, we're going on the road for 15 markets once we do this one. But I wanted Baltimore to be known and recognized that we produce this thing here. It's homegrown with all local people on the production side, from the staff, from everything that we did. It's a Baltimore grown thing, and we're going to take it across the world. And Baltimore's going to be the hub and known to bring this product out.
So let me ask you this, man. Are you from Baltimore?
I'm born here. Yeah, born, wasn't raised, Army brat. So.
All right, no, fair enough. Are you familiar with the marching band culture in Baltimore?
Big. It is huge. I'm trying to get with a couple of those too.
So I'm gonna give you a flyer. So next Saturday's my event. I'll announce this, but I need y'all to show love to the boxing event. However, all my hood marching bands. I gotta look at the list, but Bazemore is celebrating the anniversary, and all the marching bands are showing up. You're gonna have Ms. Mama Donna with the Go Getters, Miss Evelyn, Mass Destruction, Extravaganza, Dynasty. Everybody's coming out next Saturday. They're going to be over east celebrating with Bazemore. So, again, you guys can check my IG real quick. Let me pop it up there just because I keep saying it, not showing you guys. Here's my IG. Look for the flyers, man. We got some really great stuff going on this weekend. There's 3 or 4 events going on this weekend. Last weekend, you guys, if you didn't check it out, we had the Black Mall with Shinyear. Miss Jackie Cummins' sister over there, over west. But yeah, so here's why I mentioned the marching bands. If you want to make it great and you really want to make it stank like Baltimore, you got to have the marching bands at this event on the 5th. And so if you haven't already booked them, we got you, bro. I know Mama Donna's watching. Mama, we need to call Mike.
Yeah, I have not. I do want them. So I actually just brought on Bunky Jr.
I know Bunky. Yeah, yep.
Brought him in for the kids, man. He was super excited to be involved with it. Also, Dancing Bari, also from the same community. He's coming out. I mean, these dudes are pretty big in the area, which I didn't even really know. I'm so caught up on, I mean, we're talking, 60, 70, 80,000 followers. And it's like, that's great numbers to be from the area. You know what I mean?
And I don't know, because we showed this guy mad respect, and I don't know if we can get him plugged into what you're doing. I'll make the connect for you. You got to close him. So do you know Timothy Fletcher?
No.
So he was on the Ellen show, man. He's a drummer from the marching culture who was discovered just doing like a little thing down at the harbor, doing his own thing. He does like dancing.
I know who you're talking about. I do.
So yeah, so him and Malik, man, them guys are freaking fantastic. Again, if you want to put that that Baltimore on it, that Baltimore edge on it, man, talking to them guys, talking to the marching units, like let's get them plugged in. They'd be more than happy to come celebrate, I'm sure, and really kick this thing off right. Yeah, so
That,
we'll
that
definitely
that's
make those connections.
yeah, that's what I want. And actually, again, what you're talking about is just that organic connection is
Yeah,
what I'm.
yeah.
And I want to do this across the country, man, across the world. Like I want to tap into people that really make the city move, and appreciate them. You know what I mean? Give those people their flowers. I don't want to do the typical like everybody else. Like I really want to get the people that really make the city move and show a good time.
No, that's well, it's funny, man, because a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the names you're dropping are people already in the tribe. People
Right.
already out here doing stuff, man. DJ Duke Live is out doing. He's in the rec centers teaching DJ classes with
Mm.
5 Star Math
Yep.
Through Music STEM project, right?
Yep.
Ryan the Lion.
Business partners in the early 2000s, man. Shout
Yeah,
out.
is that right? Yeah. So and then his partner 5 Star Kendrick does the
Yep.
African American festival in the county
Yep.
with Hassan, right?
Mhm.
Ryan the Lion has shown up for me before when we were doing our motorsports team. We were taking Powerfest motorsports team. We were taking young men from the city, taking them in their dirt bikes over to Anne Arundel County and getting them on a racetrack in real competitions on dirt bikes on asphalt. And
Mhm.
so it's called Mini Motor GP, and introducing them to a $6.4 billion industry with
Mhm.
0 black athletes and putting them in a context where you can be celebrated for your talent and not criminalized.
Correct.
And
And
same with the gaming. The game. Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say is exactly that point. The point of it is shine light on the things that are usually on the popular side looked at as negative.
Right. Because like I'm 45, man, and gaming was frowned upon in my household and my culture.
I'm pretty sure there's hundreds of thousands of houses just like that.
Yeah, man, you're wasting your time, this and that. And now kids are like now before the show, I had a cruddy game on League of Legends, but kids are now getting scholarships to higher education
Correct.
through gaming, right? And so
Correct.
like there's opportunities out there, especially League of Legends. I think is the highest paid esport in the world.
Yeah.
I know Call of Duty's got a big pot of money, but I mean like kids that are like 15 years old winning $22 million for one game, for one championship LCS game. So
Yeah.
It's a great culture. It's a great opportunity for the kids, and like you're kind of ahead of the game, or you're definitely trailblazing and taking a lead on this. And I just want to get everybody plugged into what you're doing. You're in the right spaces, man. You're talking to Ryan Lyon. Let's get you on talking with Larry Lancaster. Dr. K on WEAA Valencia. Eric on the morning show. Like all these guys want to do is make Baltimore better.
Yeah.
And they, thank goodness, like we have, and I love Baltimore for that because like our Baltimore famous people are accessible. They're in the community doing the work. Like, I might not be able to get the mayor to come through my gym twice, but like, these radio heads or these TV personalities, they're showing up like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like we need more of this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, who are you telling us? So like that's why you're on the show, man. I got a vibe off you watching the video. You're speaking my language. You're in the right, you're in the same circles. So August 5th, we need more people to sign up.
Yep.
I'm gonna put the website back up there again. I had it. Let me see. eworldfestival.com.
Correct.
All right. Music festival, gaming festival. Hopefully, Jerome can get on here in a little bit. So we also do. Me and Jerome. Jerome is with Geeks Haven.
Mm-hmm.
He's helped me manage some gaming stuff for the kids over west. He engages kids through gaming. And I think you take it to the next level. So I definitely want to connect you guys, and he can help in certain capacities. And I love the community work because we all stand in the gap for each other. You got a vision, right? But you can't do everything.
Right.
And I don't know what you can do, but we can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's just the mentality. Is like, okay, so you got this vision. My spirit resonates with your vision. So here's access to my tribe, and here's what we do.
There you
here's
go.
what we can do to help you out. And it's really that easy.
Yep. And I'm glad that Val made this connection because it gets a little frustrating to later find out that there's other people like you in the same city, and if you could have linked with them sooner, imagine,
But God's timing is perfect. Trust me.
Absolutely.
And he closes the right doors, and he closes the right doors sometimes to sit us down and make us wait. But he's always on time, man. And I'm 45 years traumatized individual from Baltimore, and so like you experience so much that you just learn to walk in faith, or you don't. And I'm one who just learned to, like, you know what, like, I don't miss no meals. I don't choose to miss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always okay no matter what, even when I'm not. So, like, just keep stepping forward and doing what's in front of me with excellence. And God has always placed me in places that I couldn't have set up on my own if I was a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, it's a privilege. Like you talking about Bunky, man. I met Bunky in the green room doing security for we were at Baltimore Comedy Factory. I think I was doing security for Faison Love or Capone or some more or somebody, and Bunky Jr. rolled up in the green room, and I'm like, oh hey, that's
Yep.
where I met him for the first time, and I'm telling him about the Park High Strut. He's like, dude, that's me, and I was
Right.
like, oh snap, like my bad, bro. All respect, like, you know. So it
Uh-huh.
was cool. It was cool. Drew Hill, I connected with Drew Hill on some projects because Woody and them would come through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's really like I'm a nobody white boy from Northeast, right? But it's really about like doing what's in front of you with excellence, trusting the vision. You know, God don't give you a vision without provisions,
Mm-hmm.
and then He puts you in places
That's the one right
where,
there.
like, right, and like you could tell your story, and I'm sure it sounds like a freaking movie because it's the truth. Like the truth is stranger than fiction when you really step in faith, man. And so it's a privilege to have you on here. Definitely. So beyond the music festival coming up, man, you said you do baseball, man. You want to talk about those programs
Yeah,
and
but
where you're at?
I want to speak to two things before we get into the baseball, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Show's
One, what
yours, man.
you mentioned about the college with esports. And one thing I had to explain is, gaming is they're considered athletes now. Okay. And so for the household, for that mom, for that dad that are constantly being asked to spend money on V-Bucks or, different memberships and subscriptions, these kids can now get picked up and get a full scholarship ride to some of the top colleges in the country by having that controller in their hand. The one thing that we make sure that we do is to create that bridge between, you know, how substantial gaming could be to the navigation to a kid's life versus, just kind of wasting time. And our thing is we make sure that we put into the consideration of how healthy you need to be as an individual, right? We call it putting grass under your feet. Right. One of my really good friends, he's a super gamer just like you. And he says the same exact thing. He's like, man, look, you gotta put some grass under your feet. And for us, we're driving that narrative to say, listen, we understand what gaming means to you, even though you don't see it to the finish line. We understand what it can offer to you, but you can't ignore that healthy part of it, just like anything else you do out here. If you work from home, you got to get up and hit the treadmill. You got to do some jumping jacks. You might have to do some aerobics before you even start your job from home remotely, right? But put some grass under your feet and you can come right back to it, still have that bottom line to get that scholarship to go to school. They're athletes.
I was going to say if they do spend a lot of time behind the screen as an esport athlete, make sure you're watching a David Goggins video once in a while. That'll get you up off the couch, right?
That
And see,
man,
the fact
that
that
man,
you know who that is speaks to me, man. So yeah,
yeah, that man.
exactly.
Yeah, so that was one thing I wanted to bring up. And I brought up another point. Those pro gamers, man, they're gaining like 30 pounds. It's happening, right? So we want to be this new regime. We want to be this new fresh air to gaming domestically in the United States to say, look, you can game, but you also can game from a healthy perspective. You don't have to buy into the instant gratification that allows you to have heart issues and high blood pressure all because you're playing up sticks. Now the mom that's going to be fearful, this is no different than a mom being scared of a kid playing tackle football at 8 years old. If you give them the right education, if you let them know what your narrative is to help them kind of be okay with your child sitting in front of that TV all day, well, this is what we want to drive that point more than anything else.
Yep, and so for your program, what for this event, how much is it to register?
So the registration for the actual gaming itself to get into the tournament, it's actually free, $0.
What?
And we have up to 100 slots available. We have 3 different age groups. We have a 12 to 14 age group. We have a 15 to 21 age group. And then we have a 22 and older. It's 100% free to register to sign up. Everybody gets to play double elimination. The top 3 finalists from every age groups are going to be the only ones invited to come on stage and play for the #1 spot at the music festival.
I like it, man. I love it. So let me ask you this, man, because as a gamer, you have to, if you're in this gaming universe here, you've got to be doing. So Baltimore is internationally known for our fight game community, right?
Okay.
So the DMV's got the strongest FGC in the world. Guys come from Japan to
Mm-hmm.
play our guys, right? So what I like, my personal request as we build a relationship, I want to see Smash Bros. I want to see Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. We got a guy in Baltimore that we taught this kid how to play Street Fighter on a Super Nintendo, um, and he's one of my little nephews. And at 15 years old in 2005, he was taking like top 10 in Evo for Street
Oh,
Fighter
wow.
4. And so he grinded through Street Fighter 5 competitively, but he's not fully back yet. But they used to call him Prodigy because he was so young.
Mm.
And after his tournament performance at Evo, they called him Vortex because he just got people in a vortex, came out of nowhere, and he would juggle them and crush them. And so Street Fighter 6 coming out, I got to see. We can bring this guy back out and put Baltimore on the map on his back alone for Street Fighter if we get some Street Fighter tournaments out.
That's actually our game. Our next game we're going to add is Street Fighter.
So I need to send this video to my man Josh. Look, Josh, I'm calling you out, bro. You were I know you won't get on the show, but we're talking about you on the show. Vortex, Joshua Bryant, in Middle River. Mm-hmm. We're doing Street Fighter 6 tournament, man. So train up, bro. Start training. How about Overwatch, man? What's it look like? Is it complicated to do an Overwatch tournament? Because that's my jam.
So Overwatch is so heavy on the pro side. I don't want to. This is all for amateurs. Again, it's not, and I'm glad you asked a question. We're allowing this platform to create the next pro gamer, right? So we want this to be strictly for the amateurs. Whether you just like to play for fun or if you want to take it serious, we're giving you the non-judgmental platform to come in and compete. You make the best of it from what you want to do. The other thing is that every kid that signs up, or every young adult, every person that signs up to game, we're giving them a ranking status, right? So you could end up, top 100 in the DMV, so with that accolade, we go in and now empower these amateur gamers to transition to being pro gamers through our platform, and we basically endorse them almost like NASCAR to Hershey, right? So we're going to be this company to say, hey, well, listen, Randy Smith has now but won number one, or he went from 79 to 12. Congratulations, Randy Smith. Da 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 da. Keep going. We're going to highlight that. We're going to push it out there. We're going to let these people know that this guy is really taking this thing serious. He makes it to the number one spot. He wants to continue on to actually be a professional gamer. We're going to sponsor that kid. We're going to sponsor that adult. We're going to pay for him. We're going to outfit him to go to Sweden and Austria and Asia to play in these professional tournaments sponsored by Eworld Festival.
So is Eworld Festival, let me ask you this, is this a 501 or is it for profit?
We're for profit, but we're probably going to end up adding a nonprofit by the end of the year. This is strictly all festival. We just wanted to pay homage and put the big stage lights on gaming.
No, man, I dig it. And I just asked because it sounds like because you mentioned paying for stuff, which means you guys have income. You're making income as a for-profit business, but you're doing the nonprofit work. And so I think there's a marriage there between the two for sure. And let me ask you this, man, with these programs and engaging the youth, and you having the blueprint already, and are you guys connected with like the city at all? Are you vendors with the schools or parks and recs?
So yeah, I am through my baseball program. I am a vendor with the school system. I am K-12 by approved.
Right, the Pi Portal or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually working on Baltimore City. I believe you and I were speaking about that, but that's my next goal is to be the Baltimore City vendor on their vendors list. I do a lot of things on the baseball side with Parks and Recs.
Okay.
I want to get a lot more involved, right? So I am looking to do that. But if you heard what I said about the festival, we're kind of fusing two different spaces. That's exactly what we're doing on the other, which you just pointed it out. Well, it looks like you guys are doing a nonprofit piece. Well, we're actually doing that. We're a for-profit business, but we're fusing everything that I chose to do from here on out. Why keep separating the two lanes? They service all the same thing, so why not just put them together? Just make it simpler. It's all good. You know what I mean?
I do, man. I love it. And, the city has and just in case BCRP's watching, y'all tell Kendra, we're going to be filling something out for this game and stuff, man. We're coming. No, I think so. So the best way for people to support, man, how do people support the work you're doing, or how do we continue to make what you're doing sustainable?
Yeah. So like I said, the website is definitely where you guys can get the information. The email on there goes directly to me. I check all the emails. And then, of course, I have my own personal Facebook page. I'm getting a lot of messages, private messages with people inquiring or just kind of congratulating, things like that. So you can always look me up on Facebook. This is my name, Michael Niles. I'm not really big on social media. Social media has never really been a big thing of mine. I've kind of been a face-to-face person. But the website for sure is definitely the best place to get that information and contact with me.
You guys have an IG for Eworld Festival?
Yes, the Instagram is Eworld Festival.
Awesome. So even though you don't do social media, I'll share my experience. I'm 45. I cringe when I see a QR code. Somebody's like, scan the QR code, right? But IG is it. IG is like, for me, I won't do TikTok, but I'll do IG. And IG is a good bridge, I feel, from like the 20 somethings to the 40 somethings. We can kind of reach back into generations through IG successfully. And a lot of the industry people use IG. It's a way to kind of like both communicate, integrate while marketing yourself as a brand and the work that you do. It just, I think IG is really good for that, where I can hit, I can hit Yolanda Hunt on IG. And as an actor, all you actors out there, Yolanda Hunt is John Singleton and Spike Lee's casting director. Now, I can't call her on the phone, but if I hit her on IG and inbox, she's going to hit me back.
Yeah.
Because there's that safety, that barrier of the social media thing. And it's like, we met, and I might not have got her number, but I got her IG. And so when there's stuff going on, like it's a way to connect with people that you don't usually have, access to. It's a way to share stories and share fly. Like if you look at my IG, people always ask for it, but it's mostly everybody else's stuff. Like I'm putting flyers out for things that people to support or free things to do in Baltimore. Like I'm like the free white boy, like kind of does what like your girl Cheryl does, right? Like she's got all the good things going on and lets you know where everything's at on the weekend. Like we try to do that. We try to make sure that all the grassroots people and people like yourself, make sure people are showing up and celebrating the work you're doing and supporting, because it's important, right? And if you're doing it right, I know that you're training young people within your sphere of influence to be able to, for you to be able to step away from it to a degree and let them take up responsibility within it, right? You're deputizing the young people. You're training them up to replace you, and
even if kids, man, they need lanes. I mean, the redundancy of what's always there, and sometimes and like I said, the city's going to be the city, but the city only can do but so much. One thing that you hit on is that we have to be responsible for our doors on the left and right of us, and in front of us and behind us, in that alleyway, in that intersection. We got to be responsible for that area and those kids and those families that come out of there. The more we talk, the more we create narratives, the more we stand on integrity for ourselves and for our community, we can produce a lot more things to where the city can say, well, look, we see you're doing these things. Let us add this to it. But the minute we keep standing around and talking and not actually doing, I mean, we're looking for a handout. You stand in line, So I wanted to be able to kind of just come out and say, you know what, let me have the confidence to not only keep talking to give other people confidence or empower other people. Let me stand out there, right? Let me take the blows. Let me take the hits. Let me take the wins. Let me take good conversations along with bad conversations, but allow people to say, hey, it's okay to have courage to believe in what you know and have the courage to go and connect to people that you don't think that you're ever going to see, like yourself in this interview. Like, if I never would have done this, you and I never would have connected. So use us, right? You and I use us as portals, right? To say that it's possible. It's very possible, and as long as you have the courage to go out there and believe in what you believe in, don't worry about how it's going to look at the end of the day. You're not willing to fail yourself. I can't hear you. I don't know what happened.
I said some good shit too.
No,
I was on mute, man. No, sometimes I gotta mute myself because like I like to talk, man, and you got so much good to say. I gotta mute myself and make sure that I'm giving you space to share and talk, man. You'll learn that with me. I'm very loquacious as we build a relationship. But no, I'm smiling because I'm looking at my son who's a hardcore Battlefield 3 player. And so as we're talking about gaming, like have you ever played Battlefield 3? Is that something on the radar? What's the space for as we evolve beyond the Fortnite, the Maddens, and 2K? Right, there's Street Fighter 6 is a big one. I think it's very important for our community in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area to really put that on. I think that Battlefield 3 is a very unique space, but like there's a lot of good, a lot of really quality gamers there. And we talked a little bit of Overwatch. He's an Overwatch player too, but yeah. So like if we can do a Battlefield 3 tournament, I know he's all in and he'll support. That said, real quick, we just got Jerome Pinder popped on with the Geeks Haven. So let me introduce my brother Jerome. Welcome, man.
Hey.
You been listening to this guy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jerome, how are you, man?
I'm fine, and you?
I blessed, dude. Blessed.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was listening the whole time. I'm just getting home, so I'm just been rushing around all day.
Yeah, so this my buddy, man. Jerome and I do. We were texting a little bit before the show, Mike. And people call you Big Mike, Coach Mike. What do you go by?
I get Big Mike, Coach Mike, not like just my last name Niles. Like it's all good.
All right. Well, we're talking a little bit about we do a once a month podcast called on the first Sunday of the month called First Sundays. Me and Jerome hop on and we just kind of rap about any good streaming movies that we've seen, games coming out. He's an anime guy. I'm not, so it's on the table. We just don't talk about it much because I quit watching anime with Dragon Ball. Like that was my
Same here. I was a huge.
But there's this one with it's a Street Fighter one. It's about Street Fighter 2. I forget it's some kind of gamer girl and she's better than the boy at Street Fighter back in the 80s and he gets real mad about it but kind of crushes on her. It's a weird anime. I don't know.
Score.
It's called high score girl. Yeah. Who knows? So yeah, man. So Mike is your guys, man. Let's go.
Well, one thing I do want to say, because I was kind of looking at this when we first started the festival, I was like, what other lanes could I fill to kind of set the bar as high as possible? And I was like, let's go with the metaverse. And then I was like, the metaverse, that's gonna kind of normalize after a while. I don't want to get caught up with it being normal with us kind of having this momentum going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But within that space, we created our own mascots for the festival. Her name is Eve. Right, she's actually an anime character. She's an android, no face. She's a human android, no face, but she's super huge in gaming. And then she has a pet called Bushido. Bushido is this pet monkey, right? But the monkey has a lot more powers than she does. But she's kind of the face. But we're going to go in there because, like I said, the gaming is huge. The anime piece is huge. I used to consult for Comic-Con in San Diego, so I know what that world looks like. So I'm like, if I could get this to where I know it could go, I want to make sure that we are right there at the anime point, right when this gaming festival piece gets there at the same time. So we're actually considering that whole anime piece. That's why we got the mascot for the festival.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you this, man. Have you ever used We the Hype? So are you a gamer or are you kind of more doing this for your kids?
I was hoping you wasn't going to ask me this.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't play video games. I mean, so during COVID, I picked up a PlayStation. I bought one, found it, and I probably had it for like 5 months, and I got rid of it again. Like once it started, the world opened back up again. But I have no time to sit in front and play video games.
No, that's cool though because we don't need you gaming. We need you organizing, right? So this question's for Jerome. Then have you ever used We the Hype headphones?
I have not.
So We the Hype is first ever Black owned and operated. They make gaming headphones. And so okay. I think, and I'm looking at my headphones right now. So I'm thinking like while we're talking, I need to reach out to them. They're on IG, or if you Google, they're popular enough. Like I got them back when they was just like a little ad and they weren't nobody. But they're pretty popular now. If you Google We the Hype, you can reach out to them. And like I said, first Black owned and operated headphone company. They make headphone mics for gaming. So reach out to them and get them plugged in now. Give them a chance to get it plugged in early.
Yeah.
Rather than later, yeah. And there's some other stuff. Like you got my wheels turning, man. I really like the blueprint you're building, and I just want to any way I can add layers to it as appropriate and make it more successful. Because if you're successful, my communities and youth around you are successful. And if they're like, here's my overall picture, man. I'm 45 years Baltimore. I'm perceived as white. But I'll tell you like this, like living and growing up in Baltimore, I feel like we're so close to DC. We're about 70% black. And I feel like, and my sons are mixed. Two of my sons are mixed. Um, if Baltimore is not doing okay and we're like a stone's throw away from DC, then the rest of my people across the nation are not okay.
That's
If
that
we,
man. I'm so glad you said that. I'm
yeah,
so
and so I need us to do better. I need
yes.
whoever the mayor is, I need them to do better. I need people to be able to look at us and feel safe and comfortable about being black in America, really. And so that's my purpose out here, man. Is like, how do we create that culture here so others can look up to Baltimore and look at Baltimore as like, the city on the hill, not look at Baltimore as Freddie Gray or the Brooklyn mass shootings, or there's so much positive here. Like, but we can't. I'm not going to make more noise than Fox 45.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, and I'm sorry, not sorry to say it, but if local politics would adopt a selfless way of doing things versus a selfish way of doing things with the power, right? Because again, I used to do a lot of consultation. One of my really good friends, Leon Pinkett, was a councilman for a lot of years, and that is my big brother. I helped him do a lot of community activations. But one thing I learned in that space, that they empower certain parts of the government to go to local groups that allows them to kind of make the decision that comes back to City Hall. But other departments or other things that are needed don't have that same power. And if they were to empower these nonprofit groups, just like they empower these CDCs, to be that conduit to the city, I think the city would have a lot more positive return on investment, right? Empower these people to say that, look, we're going to send these people to you guys, but we're going to make sure that this grant money that we get and these things that we get come to you guys first, and we're going to send them to you. I have a good friend of mine who's also assistant coach with me. His fiance works for what is it, where you get the food stamps and all that stuff, right? Where your emergency electricity and things like that. I mean, dealing with anxiety because of the families and the stuff that they're dealing with, and their hands are tied behind their back because they can't help them. And then you have community group people that are coming down there with these people that need food, or they're coming, I mean, literally walking in the building with them to say, hey, this is who I am, and these people need this stuff. But my thing is, why aren't we empowering them to have the right to help these people through their group? If they don't have all their 501c3 status, get them right. If they're not approved by vendors, get them right so they can help you guys. Be selfless, not selfish with your power. You know what I mean?
Well, and yeah, I do, and it's interesting. Jerome, I don't know if I'll let you comment first, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with Mike. Like it's
Yeah, and I know you see a lot of it. And like Jerome's wife has a great youth program called Excellence and Ambition. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and she trains young entrepreneurs, man. That's what she does, right? And my problem is like, and like you're familiar with the marching bands, and we got these boxing gyms across the city, and we got all these really great programs and nonprofits. And so I have a problem when the mayor in January makes a statement. It's not our own problem with the mayor, like,
Yeah.
but he said this statement. He says, "Safe Streets isn't getting the job done, comma. So we're going to give them another 10 million." But what if they gave Excellence and Ambition 10,000, and they gave you 10,000, and they gave 1,000 groups across the city $10,000?
Yep.
Instead of giving 10 million to one group that's just holding perpetual conversations.
Yep.
And part of my problem is this, like, I just came from a community meeting in Bel Air Edison. Like, I zipped over here to get to this show, but it's important for me because that's my neighborhood. Is last month they had a meeting, and I've been begging them, okay, Safe Streets and Living Classrooms, and you and whoever is involved with hosting these meetings, and you're getting paid hourly, and you're getting paid a stipend to buy food for the meeting and rent the space, and it's all this politics and money. Come see what we're doing at my gym.
Mm-hmm.
And for a month, every day hitting them up, you guys coming through, you guys coming through, you guys coming through. No one showed up. So now we're next month and we're at the next meeting, and they're talking about cohesion, and they're talking about engaging the community and supporting all these ideas that are already happening in spaces in your neighborhood. Just support what's already in place, but they're not even showing up to these spaces to see that the work's already being done, that you're trying to rebuild a blueprint for.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a march. Like, how many people's on a baseball team?
Roughly about 16 guys.
Okay, 16, and you're practicing. How often do you practice?
Local league, maybe 3 times. High school, 5 days a week.
Right, 3 to 5 days a week. So that's 50 to 75 kids off the street weekly, plus games. So that's even more time. So that's a couple hundred kids off off the street every month, right? So like that articulates into gun violence reduction. You're getting
Correct.
hundreds of kids off the street every month.
Correct.
For X amount of hours. You can count the hours where they're not being victims of gun violence and are not victimizing anybody. Not to mention all the context of the lessons learned through the discipline in the sport and the relational equity they're building in the community and all these other things. If you just look at the numbers, it makes sense to support you because you're creating a safe space for youth and you're preventing gun violence through baseball.
Yeah, I think that the city needs to have oversight, but smaller groups of oversight. And I think they need to have a system that's a crawl before you walk type of system. Like you said, that 10,000, because what I hear a lot in these meetings and these conference calls is misappropriation, right? Yeah. Over promising and under delivering. Well, if you are dealing with people that are doing this stuff out of passion, but they just need the money to illustrate their passion, they are the perfect candidate for the crawl to walk. They are the perfect candidate that's not going to misappropriate because they don't need a lot of money to start with.
And there's established foundations out here like Building for God who will take you under their arm. They'll mentor you in building business goals and fundraising and event planning, and they'll mentor you in the steps. Or there are these fellowships, these bunting fellowships. There's foundations that'll take you and train you how to be responsible with the money to give you the money, but people don't have access to them. Or the people, for instance, the people that are getting the money, like the Safe Streets meetings. Like last month, I said something about it. I didn't say it this month, but last month we're in Bel Air Edison. There's like 8 restaurants I can spit on from the meeting, but you spent the money, the federal grant money on Subway,
Chick-fil-A,
the Bowleys, right? But like, did you talk to Sharif to see if he wanted to cater? Did you talk to CBs to see if they wanted to host and maybe rent their space for $500 for 3 hours? Spend like if you're not minded enough to spend the money on the community for the meetings, then you're not going to be minded to spend the money on anything we're asking for to support anyway. It's like if I'm going to host an event, I'm going to go downstairs to Safa's Pizza, or I'm going to go up to Sharif's, or I'm going to go over to Omar at Bel Air Food Mart or Gil's Pizza. But I'm going to go to the guys in the neighborhood, spend my money there to hold these meetings because that's supporting the community.
Correct.
I know I can get free stuff from Chick-fil-A. I know I can get I have leverage. I've been doing community stuff for decades. I can call Mission
Barbecue. That's not the city, though. That's not the city.
Right. And so when we're getting money and we're getting this grant money, I think it's also important to remember to spend the money. So statistically speaking, last time I did research during COVID, Black Dollar spent 6 hours in our community before it went out the door to Amazon, Uber, Walmart.
Yep.
6 hours. We can do better, man.
6 hours is a part-time job. That's a part-time.
Right. And understand this. If you guys are serving the community, understand this, that Baltimore City Schools spends about $16,000 annually on each student. Yeah. But Maryland Juvenile Justice System spends $216,000 a year incarcerating a youth.
Wow.
Know those stats, know that context when you're doing this work, man.
Wow.
The person that pointed it out to me was Miss Raima over at Youth Advocacy Program. Yep.
Those are astonishing numbers. And again, even with me learning this information today, that even makes me even want to go harder about what we're doing. This is exactly why we're doing this. I get to see a dream come to fruition, right? I get to actually touch something I created from scratch. But the other part is look at the influence that you have in your own community, and you can repeat that in other cities. You can repeat that in other places that need the same exact service. So yes, we're going to be able to help mom and dad be okay with the kid gaming. Yes, we're going to be able to keep a kid off the streets. Yes, we're going to be able to bring some pride to the city, blah, 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 blah. But when you can connect it to those type of numbers, 16,000 versus 216,000 per kid, that is crazy. So I'm even more proud to say that I'm glad that we were able to connect. I'm glad that, especially with this platform, I'm going to go even harder now. I'm going to focus a lot more sharper to see this happen because our kids, our community, they need these type of different things to be able to fight,
I agree.
Definitely agree.
So guys, I talked a lot. We're gonna have you back on the show for some more conversations, man. And Jerome, we're gonna have him on next for August for first Sunday. You're gonna
Yeah, we
join.
missed this month, so
Yeah, we totally did, but because we only do it once a month. So August, first Sunday in August, man, join us, co-host. You can bring people to the table. We can host up to 10 people, but definitely us three. Let's co-host and talk gaming. And you can bring some of the people you're working with for the gaming stuff, man. Get them on, and we'll we can talk about doing more. But any last words, Jerome, and then Mike, man? Any last words before we go?
no, I was just going to say with Mike, if you need help with anything, because for the longest time, people saying, "Hey, why don't you do tournaments and stuff?" But I wasn't like into tournaments.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to just have people.
I know. I've been begging him, bro. I've been begging him, but he's like,
So,
call me.
If you need any help, man, I'll definitely help you out.
Yeah, the minute we jump off here, call me. We can talk.
Okay.
I'll text you his number, brother.
Okay,
right.
so yeah, on my end with the festival again, the website's on here, eworldfestival.com. All the information about the gaming music festival is on there. Very, very proud to say and claim that we are the first in the world to ever do this type of production. The registration for the gaming part for the tournament is absolutely free. 12 plus can join, boys and girls. We will announce the actual physical locations for the tournament, which is going to be in downtown Baltimore at a place called Map Technologies right off of Baltimore Street, right across.
Oh, man. I know the guy. I haven't been there yet. Oh, looks like we lost. Mike
Peace. Mike Peace.
Yeah. Somebody put me on with him a couple weeks ago, and I reached out, but I haven't been down there yet. So I'm excited to come to your event.
You got to stop by. It's a unique place. I love it. Like the minute I walked in, I was like, man, this looks like our version of GameStop, and I just love the place. So,
okay.
But we're gonna house the physical part of our tournament there. Top 3 gamers from every age group are going to be invited to actually perform. So we're not going to announce the top 3 gamers until the festival. So everybody has to come to the festival, and then you get announced. Everybody gets to cheer you on. You get to bring your friends there, bring your family there. This is something else I forgot, chap. All of the gamers that make the top 3, they're gonna have their own merchandise line, man. So we're getting ready to, if they have their own gaming avatar, their gaming avatars, keychain, it's gonna be a coffee mug, it's gonna be a t-shirt. So their family and friends can now buy their stuff. So imagine year 3, right? This kid just keeps hitting top 5 every year, top 5 every year, top 5 every year. So he's the one, man. This kid is really, really good. He keeps kicking everybody's butt. So his merchandise is going to go up. That's a kid that we're going to be paying attention to. Like, you know what? He's taking this serious. We need to sponsor him and let him go to Dubai and play in this international circuit over here for this gaming. So we're super, super proud, man. We're looking at a lot of organic open doors that people can just walk through. We just want to, support them on the professional side. But we are 100% about the amateur gamers. The festival event is August 5th. Doors open up at 12. The event starts at 1. We got a lot of music. We got a lot of lights. We got a lot of gaming. We got a lot of free content and materials to give away. One of our brand sponsors is Nike. They gave us a whole bunch of free T-shirts and bags to give to the kids. So we are really, really, really looking to kind of set a huge standard and go as hard as possible.
Man, that's say less, bro. I'm excited to join it, man. Thank you for all that. Guys, we're going to get out of here, but remember, August 5th, right? Guys, website's right here, eworldfestival.com. Get signed up, get registered. Next Saturday, the boxing event down Father Hooper's Fields. Go to Agogi Project, Be More on IG. And check out my IG, guys, if you need any updates or you missed any information. We'll have it on Be More Chap 78. Thank you guys for tuning in. Mike, thank you for what you do. Jerome, thanks for showing up, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
I look forward to talking to you guys and building more relationships, man. Good work, brother.
All right, thanks, Chad. Thanks for having me, Jerome. Let's talk, man.
Yeah,
all right, definitely.